Hello everyone and welcome to the Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. This is Mother Spider. I am doing something different today, and this is something that I literally woke up to this today with this calling and this passion to deliver this message out. This is the first time that I am making a recorded message in this sort of vlog style. So that's what I mean. It's I woke up from a very strong dream message this morning, and it's not just for myself, it is for the collective. So, with no further ado, let me just kind of jump in and relate to you my experience. So we're going to first start off with a little bit about synchronicities, because I feel like this message is specifically coming through for people who have not quite awakened yet. It's like they're on their way. They are seeing the signs and seeing synchronicities, and they're realizing that there are other forces and things working and moving around them in the universe, but they just haven't quite received that download for themselves yet, right? So this is kind of where I feel like this message is really reaching out to. If you have come across this message and you are finding yourself resonating with it, you are probably a light worker that is about to wake up or a starseed or something like that. So, and if you haven't researched into that, then I would say this is your sign and to go ahead and start, but do so intuitively. So let's talk about that. Synchronicities and intuition and how I came to this message. So I have many crystals. I am an earth sign. I was born under 2 different earth trines, and I am an earth sign, sun, moon, and rising. Like, you can't get much more earthy than me. So that being said, I work with a lot of crystals. They really resonate with me. And as my own gifts have been opening up recently, and I say recently because this has maybe happened in the past year, 6 months to a year, and it gets stronger and stronger. My spiritual guides, my angels, talk to me through songs, and they will just put songs in my head. And sometimes I have to make sure it's not just my brain pulling up songs, but that's what I mean. It's like that's your intuition. You kind of just have to feel if this song just appears in your head. That could very much be from a spirit guide with some kind of message. So I was walking around my house yesterday. I'm pretty much off for the summer, so I've just been at home, and I suddenly had this song from Sting in my head, Desert Rose. And I do in fact have a Desert Rose selenite crystal. So as I was kind of getting in touch with the song and realizing that I might be getting a message, I was like, okay, well, I'll sleep with that crystal in my pillow tonight. And Desert Rose selenite, by the way, is excellent for unprogramming the negative programs in your mind and therefore opening up for reprogramming. So that was the whole thing. I was getting this message and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm supposed to hang out with this Desert Rose selenite, and then my main spiritual gift, my main, I say like my medium, my artistic medium in a way, my main spiritual gift is dreams. So sleeping with crystals in my pillow is very often how I tap into those dreams and remember them. So then fast forward a little bit. Let me just go ahead and mention that I am very much a night owl. I am not the kind of person that wakes up early whatsoever. And I usually don't enjoy waking up. And here in the past month, since we have started approaching and going through this eclipse portal, Spirit has been coming to me very, very early in the morning from dreams, waking me up extremely early in the morning with dreams and filling me with enough energy that I don't want to go back to sleep. I can't. And that is very unusual for me. So when I say that Spirit is really moving right now, and with some very powerful messages, like, trust me, you need to tap into this stuff. So I'm noticing that Spirit is literally waking me up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, right when dawn comes, and that's usually when my strongest dreams have been coming through right now in my messages. And so that happened on the first day of June, which I just learned is supposedly actually the beginning of our energy for a year, like our annual energy cycles. So, and that's interesting to me because June 1st is actually a date that has always been around in my life for like the past 10 years or so. It's a very important date. It's like an initiation date. So I'm putting that out there too, because for some of you guys that might resonate with you a little bit. So I had a spiritual experience back there on the first day of June. Woke up really early with a whole bunch of signs and everything. That's a little bit of a separate experience. But so laid down with my desert rose selenite last night. And I was up pretty late. I wasn't like going to bed super early or anything. And I woke up from this dream this morning. So in my dream, and again, this is a personal dream and it does relate to me and I have my own interpretation of it for me, but I can just tell from the download that I got from this dream right upon waking that it's meant for a lot of other people. So in my dream, I was in a big warehouse. And it wasn't like a big scary warehouse. Like it was sunlight outside and I could see the light coming in through the really big windows and everything. But this warehouse was otherwise empty, and it was there was just people with me, and I know some of them, but like I can't remember everyone that I was with from my dream. But like my bank teller was there. And she was walking around, and I feel like some of my old professors from college and stuff were there. And so anyway, so we're moving through this warehouse, and I can't remember everything that starts at the beginning, but at one point, and I'm particularly walking around with one person, and I don't know who this person is right now off the top of my head. I can't remember, but it is, I feel like a man, and I go into this room at one point and I find these guns, like pistols. And there's a lot of times in my dream records where when I find new weapons, it's like you're getting new information or new power, stuff like that. So I haven't seen these weapons before. I have received guns in my dreams before, and I usually actually receive a blade. And I've received a longbow and a bow staff before, so like it's like I literally get a collection. So this was a new weapon that I received. So I received these pistols, and they have like bayonet blades attached to the bottom of the hand grips, like vertical spikes, so that if you were fighting and you of course ran out of bullets, then you can still hold the gun in the traditional way, but now you can use it kind of like a big stabby knife sword, right? So, and I know those things exist. I know I've seen photos of them before, but I've never dreamed of them before. But so anyway, I find these in this room, and the thing is that they are unusable at the moment because the blades are crossed. One of the blades is stuck through the like trigger hold of one of the other pistols. So it's literally like a perpendicular, like making like a cross, like an X. And so that's the thing is like, I noticed this, and that I just know that these weapons are at the moment unusable, and that the whole point is you got to get them unlocked. I later moved down to a lower level of this warehouse, and I'm still with this person. It's like I'm in the basement now. And there's a lot of significance to that I'll talk about in a minute. And meanwhile, while I'm down here with this person, I can hear the grinding of the metal upstairs as somebody else tries to unlock these guns and get the blade out and make them usable. And I'm having a conversation with this person. I can't remember, but I can hear like the whole time this metal upstairs grinding as someone is trying to unlock these guns. And then finally I hear it. I hear them get the blade out of the trigger hold, and now it's like the person can use those weapons. And that's when I tell the person that I'm with, like, oh, they just got it unlocked. And it's basically implied like this person, I take that back. It's not implied that this person is coming for us. It's implied that whoever just got those guns unlocked can now use them. But there wasn't a fear in my dream of someone coming after me or anything like that. And so then from there, all of a sudden, like as soon as that moment passes, all of a sudden there was this flash of just a ton of images, and I can't even really keep up with all the images that were presented to me. But the very, very last one, I have a Bible app on my phone that I just get verses, daily verses and readings and stuff from on occasion. And when a verse pops up, they have an option where you can make an image of it, and they have all these templates of all these images that you can choose from, etc. So the last image that I had was very much an image that I would find in my Bible app. It was just this purple background, and there were all of these very thin, very tall and elongated yellow crosses on this image. And it wasn't 3 of them. It was like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were these crosses that were on the background. And there was supposed to be like a Bible verse there. But that wasn't the important download. The important download I got in the middle of all of these images flashing through my head was literally, it probably took like 0.5 seconds for me to receive this information. But this is the meat of the message that I'm sending through to you guys. So, in this download, in this voice that spoke to me when all of these images went through my head and the information that was implied, it's basically like, number one, the conversation that was being had was that there is so much darkness and negativity right now spewing out into the world. It's like black goo or sludge or the blob or whatever you want to kind of imagine this energy as, like oil, like the giant oil spills. Like it's like literally like nastiness, noxious, gross, dark energy. And if you're watching this and you're tapped into the world at all, you're very aware of this. Look at least our country here in the United States. The globe has just gone through a pandemic. And very much some of the side effects of that coronavirus are like all the mucus and the sludge and you can't breathe in your lungs and everything. Like it's a very, very literal manifestation of dark and negative energies. And then we also see all of the hate and racism that is coming through in this country right now. And on top of that, just all the murder on both sides. Everything that's happening, it is intense. It is dark. It is hard right now. And I actually received information about this months and months ago. And I didn't really know what it was all pertaining to. And now that I'm going through all of this with everybody in the world, it's like I can tell what my dreams were telling me about. They were telling me about this time, about the coronavirus, about the struggles and everything that was coming up. So coming back to this dream, I was having this download, and that's what it was basically saying is like all of the dark energy that we are feeling and sensing and seeing in the world right now is literally out and about, spewing everywhere, and people are getting sucked down into the muck and the mire. It is really hard for people to be happy right now, to be loving right now, to spread the light, to spread good energy out into the world to fight this. And this is all leading up to exactly why light workers and more light workers that aren't quite there yet are waking up. And it's because this is time for our world to drastically change. That is what light workers are here for. We are spiritual warriors and spiritual healers, and that is exactly why we are here, is for the state of the world. We are here to change the world and the way that it is evolving. That being said, the message that came through with this dream was basically stating that this dark energy is literally coming from everyone, everywhere, in the sense that it could be your friendly neighborhood bank teller. It could be your best friend. It could be your family members. It could be all of these people around you that normally seem to be more on your side or giving out better energy and all of that stuff. It was, and that in itself can be a slightly triggering fear message for some people. But it wasn't meant to imply that, it wasn't meant to imply that you should get rid of all these people or that you should do all this stuff, but you do need to recognize that there is dark energy being spewed by anyone and everyone out here right now, and it is imperative that, number one, you learn how to protect your energy. Self-defense and protective energy, healing and magic is vital, especially if you are a light worker or starseed who feels like you're syncing up and you're feeling this stuff going through the universe. It is imperative that you, number one, protect your energy, because as you start waking up, darker energies tend to kind of recognize it, and they can feed off of you. And even if you're not in this stage, it's the same thing. If you are succumbing to this darker energy, if you are allowing yourself to sit in depression and anxiety and fear and anger and rage and negativity, these darker energies are out here feeding off of your dark energy and continuing the cycle of spitting this out into the universe. So the first thing is, and that's where recognizing that this dark energy might be coming also through your friends and family members is where it's hard, but you have to just lovingly protect your energy and dismiss that negative energy from your space. That is where blocking people, cutting people off might be the best solution for you right now. Like me personally, I'm not the kind of person to post on social media with a bunch of rants. I'm not the kind of person to really argue a bunch of politics and everything. That is not my personal arena. This is my personal arena. And that's why I feel like this message really had to come out today. And I'm telling you, when I woke up from this dream, I was passionate about this message. I could not get my brain to shut up because I wanted to record immediately. But it was 5:35 when I checked my phone. It was probably 5:33 when I actually opened my eyes. And so then coming back to that last little bit of the dream, that image of the crosses on that purple background, yellow crosses on a purple background, that is the colors of wisdom, crown chakra, and also your solar plexus chakra, which is ego. And that tells me straight up that what is happening in this world right now is that there are a lot of people, whether they are light workers or starseeds, but most importantly, the light workers and starseeds, but everyone, there is going to be huge amounts of awakenings and transformations and ego deaths. All of that's basically the same thing. It triggers all the same thing. There is going to be a lot. That's what all those crosses represent to me. It's like mass awakenings, mass transformations, mass ego deaths, mass amount of people opening up their eyes, opening up their hearts, opening up their minds, tapping into spirit, and really recognizing what's going on in the world. And that whole kind of message of it could be your neighborhood bank teller or your friend or your family. Again, like I was saying, it's you don't have to block or cut these people off. But let's say, for instance, you have an intention in your heart right now, and it could be anything. We're talking about the little things, right? You need extra money to pay your bills. You want this, you need that, you want to, you name it. Whatever your good intentions are, you might be experiencing a lot of energetic pushback, and it's that dark energy, and it's coming through people around you. So even people that you thought were your best friends and everything, they might, it's hard to give a specific example, but yeah, let's say you're working really hard and you're trying to make a certain amount of money to pay your bills, and you know that you can achieve this, and you're putting your intention out there, and you're really doing the work, And there's people that are like, oh, there's no way you're going to make that much by Tuesday. You know, like that. That's the small amount of that dark energy. That's disbelief. That's doubt. That's people basically trying to rain on your parade instead of supporting you. That's a simple example of the type of energy you need to push away. Then there's other examples of, I just had a friend who just personally experienced a lot of stuff on Facebook recently, and she is trying very hard to be vocal and supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that. And she just received some pretty negative, dark energy from a family member, and she just like blocked them and cut them off and everything like that. And that's what I mean. It's one of those things where it's just like, you've got to do these things, and it doesn't mean that you're going to have to do them forever. But at this phase and this time in the world right now, it is imperative that you protect your energy and that you stay 100% solid within your intentions, within that light, within that love, within all of that good energy, because this dark energy is out here trying to suck us down. And it's like the blob, like it will suck you up if you allow people. Okay, that's the other thing too, especially if you're an empath, especially if you're an empath and you know that you're already soaking up everyone's energies, healing them, feeling them, dealing with their emotions. You are like an energy sponge, and you are the primary, like it's a gift. You're supposed to feel everybody, because that is your empathy and compassion and your heart chakra opening up, and that's how you heal and love the world. So it's a gift, but like when we are in phases like this with this dark energy, it is hard, man. You want to love everybody, you want to heal everybody. That is not your job. That is not your job. You are to recognize the energies that are coming through and do your best. And then when you've done your best, it's time for you to protect your energy. This goes all the way from grounding practices, such as walking with your bare feet on the ground, which is actually what I'm doing right now to help channel this message, because I felt like I really needed to. I'm out here in nature, walking barefoot with my plants and everything, working with crystals, sage. Sage. Can't go wrong with sage. But even that, maybe stepping it up to some Palo Santo, using anything that you normally do, whether it's plants, herbs, crystals, body oils, meditations of light energy, just prayer, like whatever you use to help you ground your energies and protect your energy. You need to be doing this daily, protecting yourself daily. And if you have to go out and deal with a lot of people right now for work or whatever reason, you need to come home and cleanse yourself before you go to bed, because you are carrying a lot of dark energy. Or rather, you just want to make sure it's off of you, you know? It's just like your shoes or your tires. Like when you got to go out in the world, you're going to run into some dirt. You got to cleanse it off of you, and you got to protect yourself before you go out. And that's like your sunscreen in a way, right? But so that being said, when I was getting really excited, so like I said, I get this flash of images at the end of my dream. It's basically talking about how all this dark energy can come from anyone, anywhere. And kind of just gave me the message that there's about to be mass spiritual awakenings and transformations going through, which kind of gets me like super pumped, because I'm like, yes, let's do it, y'all. But I know that is a process that just takes time, and it's a natural process that is divinely timed. So it's not like we're going to just like know when all this happens, but it is happening. It's literally happening right now. That being said, upon waking, like I said, it was probably 5:33 when I opened my eyes. By the time I kind of like grabbed my phone and checked the time, it was 5:35. And I never wake up at that time. And I was wide awake. And like I said, my mind started going over this message and was just running. And basically, I was getting more images, more messages, more downloads. It was pretty much the Matrix thing. It was kind of being shown the behind the curtain, the Matrix concept. It is literally time for people to start waking up. And that's what I feel like my personal message came through for me in this. And that's where we come back to the weapons. That was like the Matrix thing. It's like being in that alternate reality, in that dream state, being in that spiritual realm, receiving and downloading your spiritual weapons. And not only that, but where they were blocked before, they are now unblocked. And it's time to use them. And that's where I felt like the significance of being up in the top of the warehouse and then being down in the basement of the warehouse while somebody else was back upstairs unlocking these weapons. Again, this is my personal dream. So for me, it felt like higher spirit unlocking those weapons for me. And let me be very specific too. If you're studying like tarot or energies in that way, guns are very much that wands energy, that fire energy, right? And then, of course, those blades are there for the swords energy. So wands energy is fire, the element closest to spirit, and swords is your mind. And this very much reminded me of the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands cards in the tarot decks. Two of Swords is usually when two swords are crossed and you're blocked. And the Two of Wands is when you're like pausing to think and reflect before you kind of make your decision and move forward. So very much there was that Two of Swords, Two of Wands energy. It was like the Two of Swords when they were crossed and blocked. And then it's like once they're I don't know if you just heard that in my recording, but a gunshot or something just went off in my neighborhood right when I said that. It's like they were unblocked. And then it turns into that Two of Wands energy where it's like now you got to make decisions. Now you can choose which path you want to go, but that fire energy is now open and ready to use. This felt very much in that sense of like you have received your spiritual weapons. And not only that, you receive two of them for both hands, your feminine and masculine energy. It's not just a one-handed weapon. It's not something you're carrying on just one side. It is something that you've got a pair of. It's like literally all energies are activated. Everything is balanced. Everything is unlocked. The higher realms are helping people to unlock and unblock their minds and their spirits, and they are helping us to receive our spiritual weapons that we use to protect ourselves and to defend ourselves and defend others. And so you have to remember, this is, again, all about spirit. This is not about physical weapons of that regard, at least for not me in my world, in my sphere. I would certainly, especially with all the violence and everything going out in the world right now, like I would never. But basically, though, that's kind of the gist of it. And that's my message for the collective too. It's like spirit is about to unlock and unblock a lot of things. I see a lot of my friends becoming really vocal right now and really finding their platforms. And I was called to do that several months ago, but I was very shy. I'm still a little shy. I'm just warming up to building this channel. And like I said, this is my first kind of voice message and collective message in that way. But I'm just warming up to this myself. And there's a lot of other people that are warming up to these. They're vocalizing what they believe in, and they're coming in all different arenas. For some people, it's literally the politics. For some people, it's really about the Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ rights and everything right now. And for me, I'm a Reiki master. I'm a dreamer. And like I said, I've just really been waking up over the past, I'd say from about like 2016. Honestly, there's a lot of moments in my life where I feel like I've always been slightly tapped in, but I just wasn't aware. I would say that 2016 was when I started inching into it and becoming aware. When I hit 2018, which is when I turned 28, which is when I had my personal return to Saturn that I feel like I'm still going through, is when I really woke up. And ever since I woke up in 2018, I have been going through reawakenings or just, next levels, right? It's like I've been in a video game. It's like boss level. And when I complete a level, then I go through another little awakening and then I start all over again. It's been coming in roughly 6-month cycles. which we've been going through eclipses for the past like year and a half in 6-month cycles. We're in an eclipse portal right now. I very much feel like this is part of my big shift, is kind of putting this message out there and doing this kind of thing. And so that's what I mean. It's like, oh, this is all cosmically and divinely timed and guided right now, and people are just going to start boom, 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 waking up like clockwork, and literally clockwork. I was getting the other symbols of, like, the moon cycle is a 1-month cycle, and then there's the quarters of the year, so that's a 3-month cycle. Then there's the 6-month cycle, which seems to be like the eclipse portals, and then there's the 12-month cycle that we close out within a year. And I've been getting that. So there's and then also like a 3/4 is 9 months. So there's very much that 1, 3, 6, 9, 12 pattern coming through right now. There's a lot of numerology, a lot of synchronicities. There's a ton of things that are trying to reach out and speak to us. And if you just kind of open your mind and realize that nothing's coincidence and everything is trying to lead you down your correct path, and that you are also always on your correct path, then you can push forward. And I just said that part about you're always on your correct path, because especially when people open their mouths and say something that triggers you, pushes back on your intentions, pushes back on your light and your love and your magic and whatever spiritual things you're working through within yourself or that you're trying to help build in the world, you have to push back. It is your responsibility to protect yourself and push back, and therefore also your responsibility to push back and protect others. That was a big message for me, like right out the gate this year. That was the card I pulled, was the card of protection, and it was about how you are spiritually protected, but how it's also your responsibility to offer that spiritual protection to others. And I very much see that happening in the world with the way everything's moving right now. I feel like this message has gone on for quite a while now. I was like, I'm for real though, I was so pumped. Like, Spirit was giving me this message and I was like, crack it open, Spirit, let's go. Oh, download it. Like, I was so pumped because it just felt like I finally received like the go ahead for me to start doing this kind of talking, this kind of messaging, this kind of recording for people. I've been doing my tarot readings. I am working on my website to start offering services soon. And again, that's where part of I've been trying to push forward, and I've been feeling a little bit of pushback, and I just kind of have to protect and cut off my energy and do what I need to do what I feel spiritually called to do, and just trying to do it in the best way possible. So that being said, if you're out there in the world right now and you're just trying to go about your business, have a great day. If you're setting good intentions and you're not seeing a lot of manifestation progress and stuff right now, it could be that you're running into a lot of triggers and a lot of pushback, and that is that dark energy, and it is there to test you to see if you can push through and really work and manifest these beautiful things into the world. Go check out my New Earth tarot readings, by the way, too. That's what I mean. It's like New Earth is ready to be born. And what you are feeling called to create or say or do at this time in those good, loving ways is New Earth trying to be born into this world. It is so important that you do this work. And this is inner work. This is spiritual work. This is mind work. It is very, very testing, or at least it can be at times, but it is especially a test when your close friends, when your family members, when these people that you love and trust start saying things that contradict your intentions. And again, it's not necessarily that you are on the wrong path. When you are trying to manifest and make new things happen, there's going to be anything that is blocking you is going to jump up and see if you're ready for that. And it's your job to cut that down. So that's the whole thing, is when you receive that negative energy from people, whether it's small or big, that is a test for you and your intentions. It is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is a sign for you to push forward even harder and defend yourself, protect yourself, and just keep pushing even harder. Don't let the darkness suck you down. And especially if you're starting to wake up and you're seeing synchronicities and you're thinking, I'm going batshit crazy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You are receiving this spiritually divine guidance, and it is leading you down the path that you're supposed to go down. There will be massive awakenings and transformations. This is a good thing. There's a lot of ego death happening out there, and it needs to go away. We are moving into a more spiritually conscious world, a more empathetic world, a more loving world, and a more peaceful world. And the darkness doesn't like that. It's just trying to push back, so you push back even harder. That's what I've got for you guys today. If I come up with any other messages, I will certainly post them and let them know. Please let me know if this resonates for you, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks.